friends. I just got out of the gym. I just had a good big session. Shoulder workout followed by a heat cardio session with sled pushes. I'm really exhausted and I was just about to go shopping, see a few groceries because I was missing quite a few things. And I thought it's been a long time since you've made a video specifically about grocery shopping for bodybuilding. So this is the opportunity. It's true that usually I order quite often to avoid wasting too much time in shopping centers, grocery shopping and all that because I really hate it. So now we're going to Walmart, which is more mainstream. It's also much cheaper, but you can still find decent products. Let's say, but there you go. It's true that I go there quite rarely. All right, let's go. You'll see the size of the store here. It's just crazy. You can get lost in it. So now it's fine. It's morning, so there aren't many people, which is ideal. So we're going to start with the vegetables and fruits. So here, it's not the best, but there is still, nevertheless, some organic. Here, you'll see organic here is simply called bio. Bananas, that's a must. Generally, I take them a little green, so they last a bit longer. So these are organic. A few small apples too. Look at the size of some apples compared to my hand, it's huge. That's why when we say I just eat an apple, in fact this apple probably has double the calories of this one, for example. So nevertheless, even if they are fruits and contain fiber, you still have to be a little careful. Be careful, especially if you're cutting. Here, there's no need to weigh like in France or anything. It's directly at the checkout then. Apples, bananas, that's generally the main fruit I take. A few kiwis too, generally. Mandarins, oranges, I know Nolan loves them too. So I think in terms of fruits, it's okay. In terms of vegetables, I also like these small tomatoes. Organic too, by the way, this one. So it's true that in terms of vegetables, I generally prefer to take them frozen. It's more convenient for me. But what I usually take alongside that is spinach salads. I don't grow spinach because it's true that it's very quick to make and I eat them almost every day. Here we have baby spinach, organic too. These are the ones I usually take. I like them. To look at the others, well, because every time it's true that they go quickly. A slightly more classic salad here. Then here it's the whole section you shouldn't go to, with lots of cakes, cookies, etc. So here, of course, it's not very expensive. The huge cakes for $7, or here for $4. That we'll avoid. But here it's true that the temptations are numerous. And then here we have all the sections. So meat, everything over there. It's still huge. We're gonna get a little bit of beef and a little bit of chicken over there next. So what do we have here? So here we have beef here, 93% with 7% fat. So this, for me, is perfect. It's very convenient. We have 4% here, obviously more expensive too. But here, as you can see, 1667, 2 pounds, 20, well, 1 kilo. So there you go, it's still quite expensive. And if I take this one at 4%, it's a little more expensive. It's 17.36. I'm still going to take this one, 4% for the cut. Since there's 1 kilo, I usually take 150 grams per sole meal, but I usually eat it every other day. So in this case, it's fine. I think I'll have enough. So now I'm going to take all the chicken and turkey, which I eat more often than that, by the way. This, in this case, will do for me, let's say 5 meals, maybe a little less even. So next, what do we have here? Yes. Sweet potatoes, should I take some? Well, I'll take some, but that's just for the weekend. It will be for Sunday's cheat meal, which Nolan also has. He loves it from time to time, of course, obviously. So 1 cheat meal per week while cutting, no more. And this will be part of the cheat meal. So a batch of sweet potatoes. So here too, we have quite a bit of chicken here, minced. So it's true that it's the same. It's super convenient for me, I find. I also prefer it. It's better. This one without hormones, obviously. So here it's 8% fat. It's a little more than what I usually take. At Publix, I generally find some at 3%. Here, I don't feel like there is any, or maybe I just didn't find them. It should be possible, but I haven't seen any here. Well, for now, I'm going to take this one. What's great here, too, is that when you buy in large quantities, it's much cheaper as well. Here, in this case, it's regular chicken. So here, I'm at 11.20. And how much does it weigh here? 246. So there's a little over a kilo here. And this one, in this case, is 98% fat-free. So here, it's really interesting because there's barely 2% fat. So I'm going to focus on this one. This one will keep it, but it will be exceptional. If I find another one a bit less fatty, I'll take it. Here we also have turkey with 7% fat here. Here's also turkey involved, in this case 7%. Then obviously you can find cheaper options with this kind of thing. But here there's really not much indicated on it. Well, it states that US regulations prohibit the addition of hormones, etc. But they are still full of water. You can actually see it. It's not great, so that's mainly what you need to do. Be careful. Don't think that in the United States they add hormones to all their chicken, to all their stuff like that. But there are really strict rules, especially with the organization that handles all that in the United States. It's still very much controlled, contrary to what you might hear in France, where you often hear nonsense, often misinformation. It's still very, very controlled, despite everything. It's just that indeed, they often add a lot of water to inflate the weight in the end. And so that's business once again. So there you go, that's just what you need to be especially careful about. Because once you cook it, in fact, there's almost nothing left. So yeah, in terms of protein then, I think I'm pretty good for the week, but I'm obviously missing eggs and fish or salmon. I still have a little bit of that at home. I'm not a fan of fish. Salmon, yes, I love salmon, but fish is not my cup of tea. But well, you need it from time to time. I've eaten so much of it during cutting that now I'm fed up with cod, hake, etc. But it's true that it's one of the best sources of protein. So it's necessary. But I must admit that today, it's more complicated. So we might skip it perhaps. So today we're still going to try to stay within a reasonable budget, let's say for these groceries. Even if I try to get things that are still organic and of quality, I think we'll still manage to spend much less than I'm used to. So it should remain reasonable, because Walmart is for an average everyday American. So it's the average families who come to do their shopping here, and it's still very decent. So there you go, it's very cool. Then in terms of other sources of protein, of course, eggs. I have my eggs here. It's an organic detail. USDA, organic bio. So here I have 18. So this is perfect. 8.24. So very reasonable compared to Publix, for example, or Whole Foods. That has really, really increased a lot. I remember before COVID, I had to pay $4, maybe not even, maybe $3 or $4. And now today it's $6.44. So it's Greek yogurt, phage, 0%. But it's true that this is also one of my favorite sources of protein. So that I grab quickly. So here I might even take a second one. Rather than taking a second one here, I'll take another brand Chobani here. So it's also Greek yogurt. This one is interesting, it's cheaper too. And here it's very interesting in terms of macros as well. There are still 16 grams of protein. So for 170 grams, 0 fat and barely 6 in terms of carbohydrate. So it's still very good. There you go. So compared to this one, it's the same thing. But in terms of consistency, I think I even prefer this one. Anyway, I have both in any case. And this one is much cheaper. Well, a bit cheaper. So in terms of eggs, there's really a lot of choice here. But there are a lot of eggs, generally white in the United States, like this. And so there are a bit of all sizes. Here it's extra large here, for example. But they're not ultra big either, I find. Anyway, those ones aren't organic. In terms of yogurt, gray yogurt and all, we really have a lot of choices too. And what I also love to take from time to time are these ones in particular. There are still 25 grams of protein in a single yogurt. But on the other hand, it's true that they are quite caloric because it's 170 calories for the small pot of yogurt. So there you go, it's still not nothing. But it's true that it's interesting, 25 grams of protein. Here, there's a bit more fat and a little more sugar, but well, it's still okay. And so there are also some with particular flavors. Cheesecake. Here, strawberries. As for the strawberry, we have peach, which is more classic too up there. Well, the aisle is still huge. We're going to look for almond milk over there. There are all kinds, and generally I take unsweetened. Well, here we have a new one that is both almond and coconut milk. I didn't know about it. This one is unsweetened and it's 30 calories per serving. We're going to try it, that's cool. Okay, so Americans are crazy about this. It's what they put in their coffee, but it's generally very high in calories. So here you just add a spoonful, a little bit of cream to the coffee each time. It immediately adds up a lot of calories. So here, obviously there are some with almond milk in them and with a little fewer calories, so that's okay, but some are over the top. Like these ones, for example, with just a tiny teaspoon, it's already 35 calories. So if you generally have 2 per coffee and you drink 5 coffees a day, you get the idea. That's tempting too. I had that when I was competing. I think I almost had the whole thing. That's really good, slightly warmed up, but it's so fatty. We'll pass by it and I won't take any of that, in any case, definitely not. Well, as for alcohol, we'll avoid it. I'm not interested. All right, let's continue. So in terms of protein, I think I'm good. In terms of vegetables, I'll take a little more without freezing. And maybe a little bit of Coke Zero, the mini ones. I know some will tell me, even if it's sugar-free, be careful, there's aspartame in it, it's dangerous for your health and all that. Do you know that you would need to drink more than 50 cans a day for 30 years for it to be potentially dangerous to your health? At some point, you have to think about it and realize that it's not 1 or 2 small cans of Coke a day, like that 0 calories that are going to ruin your health or give you cancer or problems. Once again, it's the dosage that makes the poison. It's not the thing itself, the Coke itself actually. Before you get to drinking 50 cans a day or even more, you really have to go for it. Well, that's not an interesting aisle for me. There are cookies, snacks, just junk food. We'll skip that one. We're arriving at the cereal aisle with everything. That includes oats. Look at this, it's crazy. So here, the oatmeal aisle also has a lot of different things with some rather improbable flavors that you won't necessarily find in France. Then at some point, I don't really see the point of getting oatmeal. If it's just to add a bunch of stuff in it, like sugars and junk, but well, that's the Americans. They like to add sugar everywhere, junk everywhere. However, you can still find some really high quality oatmeal. I'm not going to get more because I already have plenty at home. But it's true that it's not bad. And then here, all the cereals as a result, very sugary, very gross. However, the ones that are very interesting are these in particular. This one or that one here. There you go. So not only are they gluten-free, but on top of that, they are very, very low in sugar. So as we can see, for 40 grams, there is barely 3 grams of sugar and barely 1 gram of fat. So this is still quite interesting. There is no syrup, fructose, corn, or artificial coloring, which they usually put in most things. So that's great. Here there is the same thing in a full version, but on the other hand, there are more calories here. There is also more sugar here. This one is great, it seems pretty good to me. I'm still gonna take this one family size because I know Nolan also loves to eat them like this. In the morning, it will change things up a bit for me too. And these are the cereals. Ezekiel, so the same brand I use for my toast in the morning. So that's great. There are a lot of whole grains here, millet, lentils, etc. So that's really not bad at all. Also, sugar 1G, fats 1G, proteins 8G. That's interesting too. I'm not going to take them because, well, I have enough cereals with the process. Be careful with these things too. Special protein cases here. When you see the amount of sugar here too. 9G there for 100 gram. Not super hyper interesting either. And when it's not 0 sugar, actually they add fat in that one. Also missing some coffee for my machine, and I'm looking for whole coffee beans here. There you see 18.98, so 19 bucks here for 7.93, 183 grams. Gee, there, if we go next to it, here we have 850 grams, so there's more, $14.54 dollars. So you see a bit of the difference here. Even there's more, 900 and some grams, 14 bucks. So I would be inclined to test this one. There you go. And we're not going to enrich further. Starbucks. So we're going to take a little bit of stevia here, right? I do use it from time to time, especially in my recipes. So it's still quite interesting. There are plenty. So we're going to take some frozen vegetables. Here, some broccoli. So that's fine. Here, oh, $1 and some. This, the same thing. At Publix, it would cost me at least $4 or $5. the difference is quite significant. Cabbage, flowers, also interesting. Here, cauliflower. I'm also going to take some peas. Frozen blueberries, that's great. In the skier, in the evening, especially in Greek yogurt, we arrive at the ice cream section. Oh dear, this is my guilty pleasure. Delight. And here we have some really interesting things. This is great. So what do we have here? Everything is top notch. I love this. There are really few calories compared to other classic ice creams. And generally, I barely eat 1 or 2 spoonfuls at the end of my meals in the evening. And as a result, it gives me my little pleasure without blowing up my calorie up and macro count. So it's great. I'm gonna take a few. So just for comparison, if I ate the whole tub, for example, of this or that one. For example, here it's 310 calories. For the entire tub of ice cream, the whole tub is 1030 calories. So there you go. It's really huge in terms of the difference. So once again, you can indulge in a reasonable way, but of course you still need to pay attention. Despite everything, the nutritional information, whether it's on ice cream or anything else you consume anyway. So here, I much prefer to eat 1 or 2 spoonfuls of this at the end of my evening meal, rather than devouring a tub of ice cream. Ben & Jerry's with 1,000 and some calories that will blow up my daily quota. And then in the end, it's not going to be better than this. I think that Halo Top is really cool. I had forgotten something important too, which is the liquid egg whites, but apparently they've been sold out. There are none left. There are these ones. I don't know this brand. These are eggs, but they are whole eggs, not just the whites. Ouch. There are actually whole eggs here too, in a bag. Strange. But as a result, I don't have my liquid egg whites this time. Oh well, never mind. A messy t-shirt. Nice. Those ones. So I'm going to show you now what they have in terms of equipment, bodybuilding, because it's still incredible in a place like this. Here, there are all the toys for children. Toyland. Here we have all the accessories, auto. We have things for the home, things for work. It's really huge too. Father. Car share, whatever we want. You can even buy fishing rods. Look at what you can buy at Walmart. Isn't it incredible? 45-pound weights, 20 kilos. It's incredible. You can even find trap bars still. Shrug bars. That's really crazy. Z-bars. Here to work on your forearms. Weights here at the bottom. Classic dumbbells, even benches. And what else do we find which is even more incredible? Adjustable dumbbells. It's here at the supermarket. Tell me if you've ever seen this in France, friends, even though I already know the answer. It's still crazy, right? It's a crazy thing. So here we have adjustable dumbbells at the supermarket, right? Even the Bowflex, they're here too. It's still crazy. The dumbbells here, also everything. The sizes and weights, kettlebells, gloves, straps, yoga mats. Oxygen tanks, foam rollers, massage gun here. And there we have everything related to electrostimulation. We have half balls, jump ropes, compression boots, and all that. In short, it's still a crazy thing. Well, I think I've more or less covered it. After that, there are still a lot of things in this Walmart. It's huge, but there are things. For really everything, you can simply find everything. We're just going to stop by the dietary supplement section before heading to the checkout, because you'll see that it's a crazy thing. There are really a lot of them here. All of this. So these are more supplements, protein bars everywhere, supplements everywhere, proteins everywhere. There's also a pharmacy, and the thing is, to get to the checkout, we pass by all this stuff. and make us want to buy junk right up until the last minute. So this is to be able to get to the checkout. Lots and lots of things to tell you. Come on, a little chocolate, a little M&Ms before going to the checkout. But you shouldn't let yourself be fooled. And there are a lot of checkouts. There aren't many people today, and otherwise there are checkouts. Self-service over there. Well, it's also here that I tell myself I did well not to take the Huracan, because in this case the trunk would quickly be full, and I admit that it's really very convenient. Here in the USA, you leave your cart next to your car and they come to pick it up afterwards. So there you go, friends, race finished, we're going to head home. So now you're going to ask me how much it cost. Well, I'll tell you right away, not much compared to usual. So it cost me about $128, which is very reasonable for here. Because it's true that, as I told you again, in Florida, groceries or anything related to food in general, it's very expensive. And generally, that's the price we pay, equal just for 2 people when we get delivery, like a Carrot Express or something like that, like for 2 healthy dishes. So it's true that it's really very expensive, the Uber Eats here, all that. But here, for once, you see, for $128, we have everything needed to eat, at least for 5 days, for me. Because it's true that for 2 or 3 people, it's much more complicated, I think. But for 1 person, it's not bad, so very reasonable. I think that even if I were, more reasonable, let's say, I think I could last the whole week with that without too many problems. I would still be missing 2-3 things, I think, maybe in terms of quantity or in terms of meat or other. It's true that, well, since I still had quite a few things in the freezer at home, I didn't take more than that. I was also missing liquid egg whites, so I'll go back a bit later near my place or elsewhere. But otherwise, overall, I still have almost everything I need, especially since for my weight of 80. 13.5 now, it's still reasonable, very reasonable for my weight. So it's true that for all those who weigh less than me, around 80 kilos maybe or so, they need to eat less as well, at least when cutting. So there you go. Normally it should cost you less too, especially in France. So there you go. For all those who had asked me to, I had done it several months or several years ago, I don't remember. Now, a video about my student shopping from back then, where I really spent very, very little at the time. You can draw inspiration from it for those who are students, especially, or who have limited means. Even though, of course, things have changed since then, because when I was a student, it was 20 years ago. And prices have certainly changed as well. So naturally, it's different today. But there you have it. All this to say that you can still eat well by making the right choices, even in France. So there you go. In any case, I hope you enjoyed it. This little grocery video, my friends. Also get inspired. And then I'll see you for upcoming videos. In the meantime, above all, don't give up. Also, remember to check out my Metamorphics app, where I share my current cutting program, Titan X in particular, as well as my current cutting diet that you can follow and adapt to your needs. With that, I'll see you very soon. And don't give up. Bye.